DeFi, like decentralized finance, provides like the composable finance or composability of finance, meaning like you can have like various services basically like interact with each other, like through smart contracts, like and as we discussed, it can work 24/7, and it's rule of code and not rule of law. So it's like a continuation of these like Western ideals of liberty, equality, democracy. Like giving a voice, giving an exit, also kind of bringing freedom to the world. So yeah, and DeFi, okay, it had a hard year last year. But it's basically the protocols were doing fine. I mean, meaning like there was not like that somebody got hacked badly or the protocol failed. Actually, we had a great year. I mean, meaning like the Ethereum went to proof of stake, right? It was like the major technical actually achievement.
Yeah.
Proof of stake for it.
Hello, welcome back to Mtambo's Desk, a weekly podcast covering deep conversations on technology, philosophy, complex science, and cryptocurrency. My name is Jakub Mtambo, and the following is a conversation with Jakub Simek, a co-founder of Wezesha DAO and an author of Wisdom Enterprising. In today's episode, I'll be talking with Jakub Simek about his article, The DeFi Matrix, under the daily Balajisms series. And now, dear friends, here is Jakub Simek. Jakub, thank you again for joining me at Mtambo's Desk podcast.
Hi, dude. Good to see you.
Well, so Jakub, in your article, you talk about Balaji Srinivasan's thoughts on the DeFi matrix and how it could potentially disrupt the traditional finance industry. Can you give us a brief overview of what the DeFi matrix is and what makes it so special?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Balaji talks about DeFi Matrix, his concept that the DeFi Matrix will be to this decade what the social graph was to the last one, which is a big statement, like social network, social graph. And DeFi Matrix is like his kind of idea, like imagine a big crypto wallet where there are all assets are tradable against all assets like 24/7, So that's like a big, so you have like, I don't know, you can trade Bitcoin versus Ethereum, you can trade, I don't know, Bitcoin versus this NFT, or you can trade Bitcoin versus this real estate property, which interestingly also reduces the need to have cash actually, or fiat currencies. So it's also like one kind of attack on fiat and cash in a way, because if everything is tradable against everything else, you don't need to have like that much cash as an intermediate, as a mediator of these like these other assets. Yeah, so that's and why it's like that, like why this might happen. It's basically Balaji provides the example of Google News disrupting the regional monopolies of newspapers. So you get like, before you had like newspaper around, you have like one newspaper per city, and another city there was another newspaper, let's say in the US, like, I don't know, Boston Globe or Miami Herald. That's like the US examples. But Google News actually put them all into a heavy competition against each other, because now they were all searchable and comparable. So you get like all in like one Google News feed, you get them all. And suddenly their like regional monopoly vanishes, because like they can't just reprint the same AP or Reuters stories. So they need to come up with their original reporting. And so it means like they need to compete on features, and the same awaits also like currencies and other assets, like also the fiat currencies and their digital versions like CBDCs. They will need to compete on features. So it won't be just enough to say like, okay, this currency is used here, so therefore I don't know, therefore it has like a regional monopoly, but like it needs to kind of start competing on features, let's say I don't know, privacy protection, or censorship resistance, or I don't know, you can get like many features, that you can think about. Like, I don't know, you can have some regional coins, city coins, like a Miami coin, and they of course they also like they can promote themselves as like, if you are patriotic about your let's say your region, your city, your town, you should buy, let's say, I don't know, if you are in Miami, you should buy Miami coin or something. But they should also kind of come up with some like features that they can provide. Like, why should someone else buy it, like, from the other side of the world? And which is also what is interesting, that okay, these assets, like with crypto, you're used to trade 24/7. It's not like, but with stock trading, I don't know, you have to wait wait until the trading starts in New York or something. So if you want to sell a bit of some fraction of a Tesla stock or something, it takes a long time. And even to if you want to sell again the let's say the Tesla stock, to get some cash, first you have to have dollars. So you I don't know, if you're using something like Robinhood or some other apps, yeah, like, I don't know, Revolut or something, you have to first transact the money to dollars, then you have to buy the share. And it's still great. I mean, it's great that these apps exist. It's a big improvement. But sometimes, like with stock trading, you see like how cumbersome it is, because sometimes it's difficult to sell like those fractions. It takes days sometimes to settle properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with crypto, it's like 24/7, and it's quite fast. You can also, yeah, it's like you're the root user of your money. Of course, many people use decentralized exchanges, also decentralized exchanges, but like centralized exchanges, at least you have this interface between fiat and crypto, which is also beneficial for crypto. So it's not like all evil or something. These centralized exchanges, they were very important for crypto as a sector, so it could grow like to this size. But you can have like, I don't know, with Coinbase you have also the centralized exchange, but you have also, let's say, Coinbase wallet, so on, like for some Web3 apps. And if you and this is like just like this is the example like that we have currently. Let's say you have like a Web3 wallet where you can have like NFTs, you can have, let's say, CBDC, or you can have something like like a USD coin, which is like pegged to the US dollar.
Yeah.
So you could have like NFTs. You already have at least some assets there, like besides cryptocurrency. But imagine these, like, but like, I don't know, 100 times bigger. In meaning like you can have some other certificates, some like crypto credentials. You could have I don't know, some crypto rate, like a real estate investment trust kind of something that you hold, let's say, a portion of your wealth in these kind of tokens, and you can get like some crazy new assets, but that we don't even like contemplate now, or we can't contemplate now, but we will see in the future.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you think of Balaji's prediction? Do you think the DeFi Matrix will have that kind of impact on the finance industry?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's very bold prediction, saying that the DeFi Matrix will be to this decade what the social graph was to the last one. It was like the social networks were like probably, yeah, it was like the last decade was like it can be defined by wokeism or something, you know, like quite a lot of but it can be also defined by social networks, which is actually a related phenomena. You know,
Yeah.
it's related, but like yeah, social graphs and but Web3, you know, it like disintermediates these companies. It kind of the promise of crypto is that every user is a root user, and that that you can become a crypto creator, owning your own content and also own social graph. Actually, so with the decentralized social networks, you can own your social graph, your contacts, and you can like if you don't like this service, you can move your social graph to another service. So you will not lose your social graph. Let's say now you can be deplatform on Twitter and you lose your social graph, your connections. You have to build your following, your backlinks again. And so yeah, so and the DeFi Matrix, I don't know. I mean, it's an abstract concept, but currently, but not so abstract. If you imagine you have various like crypto wallets and you can store NFTs and various currencies there, cryptocurrencies there. But imagine that many governments and many institutions and companies will actually have to tokenize themselves to compete. You know, they will have to create their own tokens that then can be tradable 24/7. What is interesting is also that the exit becomes really easy, meaning like if you don't like some company, you don't have to wait until Monday. I don't know when the trading starts, you can just sell it immediately. If it has a token, you know, like a crypto token. So it becomes like a new kind of form of equity. You know, it's programmable and it's like it's something like API keys. So it's not really like equity in this like outdated kind of way that it's now regulated, but it's like digital equity, something like that. And eventually every like city, every yeah, every even creator, you know, every company, even you could have even like your personal tokens. It could be something like it's like people can speculate on you becoming like like I don't know, important podcaster or creator in the future. And you know, like for example, yeah, so I mean now it sounds crazy like these personal tokens, but I think it's already existing like with some with DISO. So I forgot what was the name before, but like I think like that's like one of these like decentralized social networks. Sorry, it was called BitCloud. And I think, you know, you can have like also your personal tokens, but company tokens is kind of obvious. Like now we have startups already like raising funds through tokens. Can get controversial at times, but like but I think it will be like normalized very soon. You can have like you could have both. You could have like stocks, and then you have also like crypto tokens. And because also Balaji has this concept of mirror table, it's just something like a cap table, but it's like a global cap table. So you don't have to have a like a cap table. It's like in some spreadsheet in Excel, like who owns what percentage of the company, like some venture capital investors do today. But you can have that also in on a blockchain, you know, like mirroring the cap table and being on chain.
Yeah.
So and imagine this, and now you get like 1,000 times. Already crypto is like 1,000x compared to Bloomberg terminals. So like Balaji talks about like how in the 90s, 300,000 people owned Bloomberg terminals, but now it's like I don't know, tens of millions or 100 million people or like holds crypto, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like already 1,000x, and people learn thanks to like these sites like Robinhood or like thanks to crypto exchanges like Kraken and others. Coinbase, people learned about the a depth chart, so it's like this V-shaped chart, like how the prices are being born, how they are created, like basically just like order book, and you see like the orders being placed and like how the prices are literally born. You can see it like, and people learned, millions of people learned how this process happens. And actually, interestingly, Balaji connects this concept of this V depth chart, so it's like in the V-shaped depth chart, also to Overton window, how if the demand for some ideas or some shifts, and also you can like the Overton window can shift, and somebody can be not just like price taker but price maker. So if you are like a big buyer, like a whale, like a crypto whale, or if you are like a wholesale seller or a buyer or seller, or let's say if you have a unique product like Apple or something, but you can move the market, so you don't need to, you're not just price taker, but you can be also price maker. You can move the whole market. Something similar can be also done in the sphere of ideas, if you are like I don't know, big influencer or something like that.
That's interesting. I definitely think with more and more people getting involved in cryptocurrency and the increasing popularity of decentralized finance, I believe that the DeFi Matrix will play a big role in shaping the future of finance. You also mentioned in your article that Balaji thinks that Bitcoin will be the 0.0 of the DeFi matrix, in quotes, and that it will become a de facto world government nobody anticipated. What do you think of that statement?
Yeah, it's like, because he discusses it on this podcast. Okay, let me with the Robert Breedlove, I think his name, and he's quite like he's like a BTC Max, compared to Balaji, definitely. And so but what he means by it, it's like the biggest it's like the biggest and the oldest, and the father of crypto, Bitcoin. It's like digital gold. So in the same way as gold played the role of like a governor of governments, like a regulator of governments, because you can't just print money, because it needs to be backed by gold. So now the Bitcoin will be like, to use the words of this guy Robert Breedlove, I think the Bitcoin will be the ungovernable governor of governments. So meaning like the governments will be like I mean, you will have to hold some Bitcoin, and the amount of Bitcoin you hold as a government, it will decide your future. I mean, sounds crazy today, but like you've got like El Salvador or Central African Republic like legalizing it or making it a legal tender. Imagine like this, there is some hyperinflation moment or something, and suddenly Bitcoin becomes really, really, really valuable, and the governments will try to seize it. That's another kind of prediction by Balaji, that actually governments might try to seize it, and it will create like a populist backlash, because there is a precedent with gold, like FDR, the American president back in the 30s, last century. There was this executive order to seize gold. So something like this might actually be repeated, but probably not will not be so successful as with the gold.
It's not be easy. That's true.
Sorry, but just to discuss the world government, it's like a libertarian world government, because it's like, it's just Bitcoin. Nobody is making any decision. It's not like Davos, man, or something, like meeting at the Davos and deciding what should be good for the world, but it's just like a protocol, like an email is a protocol, a Bitcoin is a protocol. But since it has like this fixed monetary policy and monetary supply, it's like 21 million. So it's like it basically will regulate governments in a way that they just can't print as much money as they want, and I think it will make the world a bit like a less violent place, because you can't just print money out of thin air to finance your militaries, but you will need to kind of save and
and people will have more freedom.
Talent.
People have more freedom too. That's very insightful. And what about the current state of decentralized finance and the DeFi matrix? Where do you see it heading in the next few years?
Right. So, I mean, the DeFi, like decentralized finance, provides like the composable finance or composability of finance, meaning like you can have like various services basically like interact with each other, like through smart contracts, and as we discussed, it can work 24/7, and it's rule of code and not rule of law. So it's like a continuation of these like Western ideals of liberty, equality, democracy. Like giving a voice, giving an exit, also kind of bringing freedom to the world. So and DeFi, okay, it had a hard year last year. But it's basically the protocols were doing fine. I mean, meaning like there was not like that somebody got hacked badly or the protocol failed. Actually, we had a great year. I mean, meaning like the Ethereum went to proof of stake, right? It was like the major technical actually achievement. Proof of stake for Ethereum, so it was a great year. But we get also the decentralized bad exchanges, bad SEX, meaning bad CEX, like bad centralized exchanges, like FTX and the SBF fiasco, So there was like then a lot of FUD around it, and the prices dropped and stuff like that. So, and then there was also like these lenders like this, but it was again also like CeFi. It was like centralized finance, or like something like in between. So there was a lot of scams, a lot of trouble around this like lending kind of lending platforms, and so not an easy year. It was a rough year, but like okay, again, Ethereum had these major success with proof of stake. And I think where it's heading, it's now we are in the crypto winter, so it might have some ups and downs, meaning like also maybe some regulation is coming, but like we are happy actually that the regulation that SBF wanted didn't go through yet. He wanted to kind of like climb the ladder and throw away the ladder, so nobody else can climb behind him, like wanted to kind of it would be really bad for DeFi. And and I don't know, we have Solana that was hurt badly by these, that we follow Solana. We tested to create the DAOs there. We tested to create, we tested like you created a token there, so it was like, and now they have this mobile, they want mobile stack, and they want to create like actually they have Solana phone, like Solana Saga phone, and we discussed also before that maybe they could create like a 10x cheaper phone at some point, so it would be like useful for Africa and also for Slovakia and some places where you actually don't want to pay like $1,000 for a phone. But and actually even for a crypto phone, if it costs like $50 or $30 or something, it's kind of almost like not really like you have a different attitude towards that phone, because you could technically have more of them, or if you lose one, you could like boot up another one. It's just like I mean, I'm not saying that it's cheap, or I'm not saying it lightly, but it's quite different than if something costs like so yeah, 30 euros or 100 euros, and if something is like so expensive. So like anyhow, sorry. So the crypto phone, yes, Solana, and the mobile stack. But I think this is huge if it succeeds, succeeds, because if you can create like NFTs on the go, on your mobile phone, if you can do just like everything through your mobile phone, it's big, it's huge, So I think this way. Yeah, and also regarding DeFi metrics, mobile I think is very important. So if let's say Solana is successful with mobile, and if they withstand all this trouble after FTX and SBF, yeah, we will have a DeFi summer again.
Okay, that's definitely something to look forward to. I also think that we'll see some more governments embrace digital currencies and CBDCs, which will only help to further the drive of the DeFi matrix. Anyway, Jakub, it's been a great having you on the show, and thank you once again for sharing your thoughts on the DeFi matrix.
Thank you, Duke. Yeah, enjoy your day still. Thanks a lot. It was great talking to you.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. If you enjoyed listening to Mtambo's Desk podcast, don't forget to subscribe, give this episode a thumbs up, and be sure to come back next week for another episode. Until then, this is Duke from Mtambo, and don't forget to do good always.